Hi there guys, it's me Mr. Fossil and I'm back with another video. Today's video is a little different from any content we've done on the channel so far. For this is a video about anime, which I've never talked about on my channel, but I have to say anime is one of my favorite things in media, and I'm going to talk about an episode from a show that I really like, and it's called Princessconnectredive. So, what is Princessconnectredive, to be specific? Well, it's an anime that's based off a mobile game, and it goes by the same name. And we follow the adventures of the Gourmet Guild, which consists of 4 members. Our main character is Yuki. He's a mysterious young man who really has no memory of his past or whereabouts, and one of the side plots to the story, besides adventuring and fighting monsters and trying food, is to try and figure out his past and his life. Yuki has 3 friends in the Gourmet Guild. One is a princess knight named Pecorine, aka her real name is Princess Justinia. An elf girl named Kokoro. And lastly, Karyl, a cat girl sorceress. And I have to say, my favorite. I like Karyl very, very much. Basically, these 4 friends have fun together and go on adventures, going on quests to fight monsters and try all different kinds of food. And the anime itself takes place in the kingdom of Landisol. That is where this series takes place. It's in a fantasy world, a kingdom. So, now that we've got that out of the way, let's get on to our topic of the video. So today's video is to discuss a scene from episode 10 of season 2. Season 2 has just ended a couple weeks ago. It has gotten very intense from the light and fluffy stuff we've seen earlier. But yeah, it's gotten very tense and I am yet to catch up with it. But I have watched episode 10, which has revealed a very tense moment, something I have not expected at all. Yeah, you know, there was a very big surprise in this, and I'll go into what exactly happened. Basically, we find out that our friend Karyl supposedly, for a big reason, quote-unquote, betrays her friends to join the Queen. The Queen of Landisol allegedly is a fox girl named Kazar, and she is basically the false queen. She isn't the real leader of Landisol at all. She's a puppet queen, she's a fraud, she's a fake. The real leaders of the kingdom are a king and queen, who are the mother and father of Pecorine. Like I said, Pecorine is Princess Justinia, so it's technically her kingdom, but this queen is taking over the whole thing. Basically, Karyl in the episode, along with the Queen, unleashed a path of destruction and chaos throughout the kingdom, trying to destroy it and to harm and kill everybody within the city, which was a really big shocker. Now, it's truly unknown why Karyl is doing this, like why she wants to destroy everything, but some people say she wants to swear her loyalty and honor to the Queen, which is her master originally, or she is under a spell, which I think there's some foul play with magic here. Most of episode 10 is a standoff and a fight between Pecorine and Karyl, because when the guild finds out that Karyl is behind this, they're very in shock, especially Pecorine, because, you know, Karyl is one of her friends, and finding out that she's involved in this is very sus, so it's only rational to go check this out. You know, why is your friend trying to kill everybody all of a sudden? Like, she's a friend having fun with you, and all of a sudden she wants to destroy everything. That's very, very odd. So this whole episode is basically like a fight between Pecorine and Karyl. They're trying to fight each other. The fight itself is very intense, and the episode itself, there's a portion of it that's very sad that I will talk about with Karyl. I'll make another video about that, where I talk about, like, the betrayal and all that stuff. Like I say, quote-unquote, traitor. But, yeah, I'll bring that up later on in the video, and I'll make a separate video as well. As Pecorine is fighting Karyl, she luckily gets an opening and pounces on top of her, knocking her to the ground. And in this scene, this is the scene we're going to analyze today, she actually tries to reason with her. So, she restrains Karyl, and she tries to reason with her. She wants to understand why she's doing what she's doing. She reminds her of the memories and time they spent together in the gourmet guild. You know, she wants to know, like, why is one of her friends now an enemy? It makes entirely no sense. But despite her efforts in trying to help her friend does not listen, and emits these electrical, magical shocks, lunging Pecorine into the air and off of her body. And now Pecorine is like lying on the ground, all wounded in this scene. Now, personally, I think this scene could have been prevented. Like, if Pecorine could have done a few things beforehand, she would have actually probably gotten through to Karyl. But I will talk about some ideas of what I think is going on with Karyl and what Pecorine should have done. So I think this whole thing could have been easily prevented. And this is because of a suspicion I had as I watched this episode. So throughout most of the episode and the fight scene, Karyl is wearing a metal mask over her eyes. And it's unknown why she's wearing this mask. And I became very speculative about this and thought about, you know, could this be linked to why Karyl basically is trying to destroy the kingdom with the queen? Like, is she being controlled by this mask? She could be under a spell of some kind, as I stated earlier. Now, what does this have to do with prevention? Like, you know, what does this mask have to do with Pecorine trying to reason with Karyl? Well, it sort of goes like this. If the mask is controlling Karyl, as I was thinking, Pecorine, I think, should have went for the mask once she restrained her to the ground. But instead, she tried to reason with her first. And also, Karyl, like I said, is a sorceress. She can control magic. She has a magical staff. Like, she has a staff, too. She could have just kicked that out of her hand, too, then maybe she wouldn't have been propelled off of her body. Like, why didn't she take it out of her hand? Why didn't she take her mask off? I don't know. Like, this could have probably prevented her from getting hurt and all that. But that's what I think Pecorine should have done. Like, I think that she should have went for the mask. Now, if this is true, like, why didn't she do it? Like, why was this done in the first place? Like, if the mask is controlling Karyl's mind, why didn't Pecorine remove it? Well, this could have been done to build up tension. Like, movies and television shows sometimes do this to, like, build up suspense within a scene. And it's done sometimes in horror movies. We've all been here when we watch a show or movie. Like, for example, a horror movie. You have a guy walking through a house, and there's a dark room. In the dark room, supposedly, is a killer or a monster. The person in the movie is debating if they should go in the room. And you, the viewer, are saying to yourself or thinking, don't do it, you're gonna die, you're gonna get jump scared, you're gonna die. Like, don't do it. And then all of a sudden they go in and then something happens and they're like, oh man, they're gonna die, they're stupid, they're gonna die. Like, they're definitely, something's gonna happen to them. But basically, that's what I was like the whole time when this happened. Like, as Pecorine was trying to reason with her, like, I made a connection with the mask, and I'm like saying to myself, Pecorine, take off the mask, come on Pecorine, what are you doing, take off the mask. That's how I was. Like, you know, we've all been here before, and, yeah. Like, that's probably wise. Maybe they wanted to build tension in the scene. Like, it's common in shows and movies to do this. But that's one reason that I came up with. Another reason this could have been done is maybe Pecorine, due to all the stress of being in this situation, didn't think about that, or she probably doesn't know that the mask has power. You know, how was she supposed to know? There's no way of knowing if that mask was controlling her. So it makes sense, maybe she just didn't know about that. It could have been just a head ornament or something. But, you know, she could have been under stress and concerned for her friend. You know, anyone would be concerned about a friend like that. You know, why is she doing what she's doing? You know, you would want to know why your friend somewhat betrayed you. But still, I think that Pecorine could have taken off the mask and could have avoided getting blasted off. Now, back to the traitor part. Now, I will make a separate video about this. It is unknown why Karyl is the way she is. Like, why did she, quote-unquote, betray her friends? Like I said, allegiance to the queen. Or possibly she's being manipulated, which I think she is, because in the episode, we see a scene where, Karyl is being puppeted by strings against her will and is forced to actually destroy the city. And she's actually crying and begging the queen to stop. So, Karyl to me is not really a traitor, but I will make a separate video about this. So, the mask could be under a spell, or not. Like, the mask could be a part of it, I don't know. But this picture right here is basically her crying, and, you know, you can see there's strings around her arms and waist, and she is basically, upset about what has just happened. Now, like I said, does the mask have to do anything with it? Maybe. Maybe not. Or maybe she's just being puppeted against her will, which I believe is true. But if the mask does have a role in this, I think Pecorine could have just taken it off. Like, you know, if it does, you know, she should have done that. But I don't think Karyl's a traitor, judging by her behavior and how she acts towards the end of the episode. But still, like, I think that Pecorine should have taken off the mask and kicked her magical staff away, and maybe she wouldn't have gotten hurt. But who am I to judge? You know, she was concerned like anyone would be. Plus, the concept of tension is also a possibility. But I honestly don't know. I don't know what to say. You know, I gotta finish the series. But these are just thoughts I had when I was watching episode 10. But overall, guys, those are just some thoughts and opinions I had. I will be making another video about Karyl and her betrayal. But what do you guys think? Like, you want to see any more anime videos? Like, what are your thoughts on episode 10 and this scene? Do you think that the mask had anything to do with it? Do you think that, like, Pecorine could have avoided getting hurt? Like, what do you guys think? Like, should Pecorine have gone for the mask and staff? Let me know in the comments below. And I hope you enjoyed this very interesting video, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a nice day, and you all stay safe and well. Goodbye.